Today I will explain to you how to solve any missing sides of a right triangle. So the one that we use in order to solve for that missing side is the Pythagorean Theorem. So I have here a triangle. We know that it is a right triangle. We're looking for the right triangle. We know that it is a right triangle if there is a small square on the side, on one of the sides, and this small square is telling us that it is 90, or it is a right triangle. Now, within this small square, the names of the two sides that are on the small, or with the small square, are the legs. So this side is the leg, and this other side right here is the leg. So these two are legs. Now, across the small square is called the hypotenuse. So this is called the hypotenuse. Now, Pythagorean theorem says that there is a formula that would work for these three parts, and that is leg squared. So I'm gonna write it out here. So leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. So I'll just use I'll just use the symbol hypotenuse, and this is just YHP. So this is the general formula for Pythagorean theorem. Now, if you check on other textbook and if you go online, it's using a squared plus b squared plus c squared. They're pretty much all the same. Okay, they're just putting letters on the leg, another letter on the leg, another letter on the hypotenuse. But again, those are variables. But those are variables. So it can be assigned with any letter. Okay, so let's take an example right here. Let's take the first one. We are supposed to solve for t. So the t is a variable here. So that's the missing side. So we use the formula again. That is going back to the formula leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. So the two legs are the ones connected on the small square. So that would be 5 squared. You can write any of the two legs first. It doesn't matter. So 5 squared plus 12 squared equals t squared. So again, you can put the 5 and the 12, you can switch them around, it doesn't matter. Now let's see how this works. So on Google Classroom, I actually have attached the link to the calculator that you can use. Now, if you have a different calculator at home, you can also use that. So to find for 5 squared, there are two ways to do it. So first, it's either you go 5, you hit 5, and then you hit this little a squared right here, and that will give you 25. So this one right here is 25. And then plus, another way to find the squared instead of doing this a squared here is we multiply the same number twice. So that would be 5 times 5 gives you 25. So that's the 25 right here. So you can multiply it twice. Again, those are the options. You can either use the a squared or you can multiply twice. That will give you the squared. So if we use the calculator, again, feel free to use the calculator. There's a link in one of the posts that I give you on Google Classroom. Please go back to it. It should be there. So 12 squared is 144. So if you use calculator for that, that is t squared. Now we add these two together. So you add those two, that would be 169 equals t squared. Now the problem is we want only t. We don't want the t squared. So in order to get rid of the squared, we are going to square root both sides. Square root both sides. So if you square root the t squared, the squared and the square root will go away. And so we are left with just letter t. And then how to get the square root using the calculators. I'm going to explain to you how to use the calculator that we have here. So you can also, again, you can use your own calculator as well. So this is the square root symbol right here. So this one right here, so square root of, then we're supposed to put in 169. So I type in 169, and that gives me 13. Okay, so the answer right here is 13. So I write 13 over here, and that is the final answer. Now let's try another example here to see some more kind of problems. Let's take the second one right here. Okay, so let's take the second problem. So again, we set up the legs first. So that is, again, you can put the h and the 15 in any order. It doesn't matter. So that would be 15 squared plus h squared equals 17 squared. Okay, so again, we use the calculator. There's a square there, and there is a, you can multiply 15 times 15 twice. So that would be 225 plus h squared equals 17 squared is 289. Now, we are going to subtract 225 to each. So minus 225, because we want the h by itself, minus 225. So then we should be able to cross out the 225 here. So we are left with h squared equals 64. So 289 minus 225 is 64. Now to get this, to get the h only, we are going to square root both sides, square root this, and this will come out h is equal to 8. Again, feel free to use the calculator. There are two, this is the final answer right here. So you can use your own calculator, or you can use the calculator posted online. It doesn't really matter. The answer is still the same. Okay? If you think this video is helpful, please like and subscribe for more math videos. See ya!